Hi, and welcome to a new episode of PwC's Casual Side. My name is Kim, and today we will talk with PwC Luxembourg's Corporate Responsibility and Sustainability Leader, Valérie Arnold. I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard the term corporate responsibility before and have a fairly good understanding of what it means. During this episode, you will find out what PwC Luxembourg is doing in order to achieve a more sustainable way of doing business. You'll hear about our efforts to reduce our carbon footprints, what you can do individually on your sustainability journey, and of course, what Valérie herself is doing. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. So, hello Valérie, thank you for joining our third episode already for PwC's Casual Side. How are you?
Great, I'm really happy to be with you today. So it's a nice experience for me, so I'm pleased.
Great. So you are a corporate responsibility leader here at PwC Luxembourg and an audit partner. Maybe could you just shortly introduce to the audience who you are? So who's Valérie Arnold, apart from being corporate responsibility leader and an audit partner?
Okay, so a couple of words about me. I joined the firm 28 years ago, starting as a young auditor. I had the opportunity to move to Singapore for internal mobility. That was back in 97. Was great experience in terms of, me developing, me understanding other culture, meeting other people. I made a lot of friends in Singapore. I improved my golf so much, so it was great.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to play on beautiful courses during the weekend, so it was very good for my golf handicap as well. So I'm still a golfer today.
And you're traveling still to Singapore as well?
Yeah, I'm traveling almost.
Apart from COVID.
Yeah, not now, but every 2-3 years I go there. And when I came back in 99, it was the time of the merger. So we merged between PricewaterhouseCoopers and Lybrand, and there was something very, very good about the merger. I met my husband. He was a PW guy.
That's great.
So, and he was appointed as being my mentor.
Okay.
Because they tried to cross-mentor, having a PW partner, sponsor, mentor of a Coopers Lybrand person. And the mentoring went pretty well. We got married with 3 kids. So, and I always say when I do recruitment with young people, everything can happen. You can even meet your husband at PwC.
Yes. Good to know. Sorry, I was interrupting you. Maybe just for continuing.
No, and regarding Asia, there's other things that brings me back to Asia from time to time is in my personal life. I'm the president of a non-for-profit organization. The name is Toutes à l'école, so it's all girls at school, if I want to translate.
Okay.
And this non-for-profit is helping girls to go to school in Cambodia.
Okay.
I started 10 years ago. We have now 1,500 girls. 3 promotion at the equivalent of IB and are now going to university. And in 2-3 years' time, we will see the real impact of the project of having those girls going on the job market.
Okay.
So this is something very close to my heart, education.
Okay.
Girls, empowering women. And, when you start to do that, you think that you help them, but at the end of the day, they help you, give you sense to your own existence. So that's a great experience. So that's also why I'm going to Singapore and then to Phnom Penh via Singapore and fly to Cambodia.
Okay, it's very interesting. I didn't know that. Wow, very impressive.
Thank you.
And for here at PwC, so you started as an auditor, you said. Yeah. And how has it come that you became the corporate responsibility leader? When did it start?
I guess I had always this, personal will to support communities. The school was something. As auditor, I was very involved with microfinance fund, investment fund that helps develop entrepreneurship in emerging countries via microloans. So I was doing that in my junior role. So it's also somewhere helping people get out of poverty, having a little bit of money to do a small business in Africa or in Middle East. So I had, I guess, this kind of sensitivity to, doing good.
Yes.
And when John was appointed as TSP. The CR leader was leaving the firm, and it went all together that John wanted somebody to take over.
CEO,
John Parkhouse,
yes.
when he came, not everybody knows
Yes.
John Parkhouse.
Yes.
John asked me whether I would be interested. I had no clue what it could mean for us, but I knew that in my heart was a good job for me.
Yes.
And I found out, and it appears that it's a great job for me. It became more than a job. That's a real
Yes.
passion.
Yes.
It's more than looking at us. It's more than just looking at us. It's looking at basically also how we could support clients. And that's really something very powerful in terms of the impact you can generate. Because not only we are a big firm and we can do a lot, but we can do a lot helping our clients on the same journey. So I try to basically use what I learned from my internal experience, my CR leader role, to now support clients on the same journey by understanding what is key for them and knowing the difficulties of a big organization to transform and to integrate sustainability issue in the core of the strategy, but in the core of how you need to operate to behave in a responsible way. This is really something very interesting, and I really love to do that.
Okay. We'll come later more detailed concerning what we're really doing here at PwC.
Yes.
But you mentioned something I found very interesting, the word communities.
Yes.
Because I'm currently reading the book of Barack Obama, and he's mentioning communities
I am
a
at
lot.
page 550. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
Because it's
I don't
still-
know by heart. But there he was mentioning all the time communities a lot. And I think I wasn't even aware of that before, but then I realized he's right. Like, we became more and more not egoistic, I would say, but really we're just looking on our part and not really the communities that can support us more and more. I have the feeling. I don't know how your feeling is towards this, especially like at the office here at PwC or in life in general. But I think communities are really important for each of us and also for stakeholders.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are in a difficult period now. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm just talking about how things are evolving. If you want to be depressed, you just watch the news every day, and you wonder what's wrong, what went wrong. And I guess it's my part of understanding what is at stake in terms of building a sustainable world. And I read a lot of things, and I came up with that we need to ask ourselves collectively and individually fundamental question. What do we expect? What makes us happy, individually and collectively? And then you come up with why inequalities are so high, why the planet is in such a bad shape. And you need to understand how we arrived here to really understand how we could get out of this, journey that led us to those inequalities and climate issue. And it's complex because the world is complex.
Yeah, you have an answer? Because that's what I was wondering. You have an answer?
Of course. I mean, I tell you that in 2 minutes. No. It's complex, but I guess it comes back to how we define prosperity. And we talk about books. A book that inspired me a lot was a book by Tim Jackson, which is called Prosperity Without Growth. It's very polemic. You couldn't not agree with that. But you say, economy today is to spend money we don't have, to buy things we don't need, that will not last, to impress people we don't care about.
Okay.
So you could agree or you could not agree. But I think we need to define again individually what means prosperity, what makes me happy. What makes me happy is to give a sense to what I do, is to make sure that if I go tomorrow, I will have not too many regrets as a professional, as a mom, as a friend, as a
all the
woman,
roles you have,
as a
yes.
wife, to make sure that I did my part to
Yes.
contribute to a better world. And I guess corporate should do the same. Corporate should say, okay, we all have a role to play. We exist for a certain reason. Let's not forget why we exist. Because if we forget why we exist, we might not exist in the longer term.
Okay.
And that's true for every corporate, and it's certainly true for PwC as well. What does it mean to build trust in society?
Yes, yes.
What
our
is at
slogan,
stake to build trust?
Yes.
And why it's key that we really think about what that means for our people to work in a firm like us. The sense of purpose we need to give them as well. You know, an auditor is not only somebody working in a file with spreadsheet, whatever. We give independence, assurance to society and trust to society. That's the importance of our role. When we talk about investment funds that are very key for the Luxembourg market, I say, my first question when I was doing audit, I say, why do we have investment funds? Why do they exist? They exist because we need savings. We need savings for pension. We need savings for medical care. We need, okay, investment fund protect the money of people that need savings and pension. And when we do a good audit, we are part of the value chain that bring protection to these savings. So in that sense, we are extremely useful to society.
Yes.
So it's good to remind people why we exist, that our job is very, very useful.
And that it's coherent, maybe, that it is possible to exist.
Yeah, of course. And then people say, wow, it's great, I do something. Yeah, of course, we don't save life, but we are useful. So let's remind our people that what we do is very useful, and that's why we exist, and we need to preserve our license to operate. So that's at the heart of my corporate responsibility mission.
Yes, and when we come to that, maybe also because you're also the sustainability leader in this part. So carbon neutrality, we're talking a lot about this, especially here at PwC. So we have this net zero
ambition,
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe could you just introduce us this ambition and what it is about?
Again, climate change. Let's make a bit of history, if I may. What happened? Back to end of the 19th century, Industrial Revolution. Thanks to machines, thanks to new mobility possibilities, the world has improved greatly. We live longer, we are more wealthy, everybody is better off. That's great. In the same time, people started to move to city. The population increase was huge. We had 1 billion people in 1870. We have almost 7 billion people today. All that has an impact on natural resources and on climate change, because climate change is global warming. Global warming is due to energy. Energy is mostly fossil fuels. Fossil fuels put CO2 in the atmosphere. Scientists have been very clear for years now that if we don't calm down the CO2 emission, we go to a disaster in terms of the warming, which creates warming of ocean, loss of biodiversity, and everything that goes together. Everybody, every corporate has to go down to this path of net zero. That's clear. And you could say, PwC, you are not really producing goods, you don't really use, but we have an impact, everybody.
And we want to do it as well.
And we want to do it as well. So what we did for PwC and what we will do in the years to come is to understand what are our source of emission, where it's coming from. As we know, in Luxembourg, we have a lot of people commuting every day.
Yes.
COVID is a bit a parenthesis. So this puts, a lot of cars on the motorway and brings a lot of CO2. We have also people for clients' need that travel with planes. That's also CO2 emission. We are building. We have great because we have a BREEAM excellent building that is doing very good in terms of consumption. We have green energy source, so it's great. But the mobility part definitely is an issue. So everything which goes with the CO2 that comes from the cars that our employees use is part of our carbon footprint. We try to minimize that. So what did we try? The car sharing.
Yes.
We try the office at the border. It was not the only motivation. We need to be frank. We did office at the border also for practical reason for people that they don't waste a lot of time in the traffic. But it's also good for the CO2 emission. But we need to go one step further. Everybody that can take train or bus or an electric bicycle. By the way, I've got electric car, electric bicycle. So I think I check across all the things. And I couldn't have a big car as a CR leader. I don't think we'll look very good.
What are you driving? That would be interesting to know.
I'm driving electric car and electric bicycle. Even if people say, yeah, it's not so good, I think it's still better than others. But anyway, no judgment. So basically, we need to really understand. And then on the top of it, we have 3,000 employees.
Yes.
So bringing awareness about those sustainability issues, making them good citizens. Because at the end of the day, we are, and that's not politically correct, but we are certainly too many on the planet for the way we consume. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about food as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the energy. And I'm talking about digital. I'm talking about all that. So we need to calm down a little bit. Come back to maybe a good book. The Barack Obama one is a good one.
Yes.
Do stuff with your family. Go out, enjoy nature. Do simple stuff. And maybe for that, COVID brought a little bit of something else.
Yes,
about
maybe a change
looking
of
at, you know. So basically, I think we have also a role to say, yes, as a firm, we do our part. And we try to engage with you, employees, to go in the same journey, understand what is at stake. And again, it's not to make people guilty, it's make people conscious what is at stake and that they want to be actors as well, that they care as well. It's not about the future of the planet, it's about the future of humanity.
Yes.
Let's be clear about that.
And in terms of like how we're going really to concretely implement this within our firm, do you have any solutions or ideas or examples? I mean, like being honest, I think it's also people are working here a lot. We all agree on that. And I mean, they're also comfortable using their car, so to say, from home to the office to avoid time or to save time. Do you have any ideas or suggestions, solutions maybe which could ease up the life of the people working here, but as well in terms of a beautiful planet?
A bit the coming together, you know, is something. I know it's maybe less practical because you need to wait for your colleague, but it's nice as well because you share time together, you have time to discuss, it's nice. The fact that we're providing parking spot for people that do car sharing, I think it was a good incentive as well because parking is difficult. I think the home-based working, you know, that we had to do because of COVID, we implemented it before to give the people some flexibility, not to have to commute every day.
But will it be even more in the future?
I guess there's always the problem of, you know, outside of Luxembourg, in Luxembourg, the tax issue as well. But I guess it's just a question of balance. We see that going to the extreme is also creating other issues in terms of, you know, social, mental health issue and all that. So you need to be balanced. But then definitely going to cars that are less CO2, you know, issuer is good. So we need to think about hybrid. We need to think about electric. We need to think about everything.
So a combination of all the things.
Combination of all the things. So yeah, nothing is easy, but we explore all the things we could do around the CO2 reduction of our carbon footprint. That's clear.
Okay, and you also mentioned the word food. So in terms of food, what is there something we could improve even here at PwC?
Oh, sure, we can. The problem again is it doesn't depend on us. It depends on our supplier.
Yes.
So having a co-creation spirit with our suppliers. I mean, if we avoid beef, we cut 30% of the CO2 footprint. Beef is terrible. Mm-hmm. We all know it. Mm-hmm. So
do you eat beef?
What?
Do you eat beef at all?
Much less than before.
Okay, yeah, but you still consume it.
Yeah, from time to time, because it's, you know, again, I mean, the pleasure in life. You know, you cannot, you know, give up everything.
Yes.
You just, you know, from time to time, yes, a good hamburger, I like it as well. And I don't feel guilty because, you know, it's once from time to time. Just changing habits a little bit. Mm-hmm. It goes with health. You know, we know beef is not too good. So, you know, making sure that we can promote local products, not having, you know, strawberry during winter.
Yes.
We know that strawberry during winter. But it's true for our provider, but it's true for us when you go shopping. You know, I mean, I completely changed my way of shopping. I mean, tell you that at home we don't buy plastic anymore. We do our own washing powder. We do our own products.
You're doing that? Your own washing powder?
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah.
How
We
do
do
you
that
do
with my
that?
husband. You know, he completely. He was a partner with the firm, but now he's not doing that.
Now
all the
he's
time.
doing washing towel now?
We are doing that. We're trying to avoid all the plastic.
That's
we do
great.
when we go shopping.
Any tips and recommendations? I'm always very struggling with this part, to be honest.
We have good recipe. I can share that with you.
Great.
And you know, going shopping with small bag that
Yes.
you put your vegetables in. It's a kind of cultural change, habit change. Every small gesture, you know, to avoid CO2 or to avoid plastic or to avoid packaging. I mean, 7 billion people. Imagine a small thing, all of us. So
Yes, no, I
again,
totally agree.
we did a lot as well. The single plastic, we got rid of most of them in the firm.
Where
You know,
maybe you could just shortly introduce it for an audience that they know. what
yes,
we're
of
talking
course.
about.
I mean, there's a manifesto by an organization in Luxembourg which is called IMS, Inspiring More Sustainability. They push the net zero, that we get rid of all the single plastic use. So basically, that we get rid of the straw, we get rid of the plastic cup and all that. That we use, you know, our own cup when we take a coffee. So we killed all that.
Yes.
We don't have them anymore. We had, you know, fresh orange juice in the morning. I think we had more than 500, 600 per day. Plastic cup. This is over. Recycle. You go to the canteen. We have now the eco box. You like it, you don't like it. It's not easy to
What
close,
is it?
but at least we have it now. We don't use plastic thing. Yeah, small thing, but at the end of the day, at the end of the year, multiply by corporate, multiply by people, that makes a difference.
Yeah, so just the eco box, maybe just to
The eco box is a plastic, beautiful green plastic box that you use to get
reusable. To mention not plastic.
reusable that you bring to the canteen, and you can have your food in, and then you wash it, you bring it back.
Yes.
So you avoid, you know, the single plastic use.
But is there anything more we can do in terms of the consumption, plastic?
I mean, we looked also at all the goodies that we were giving to clients to try to avoid also plastic. We look at all the goodies we give to the the new joiners to make it, you know, sustainable gift for them. So yeah, we improve in many. We can always go further, but we did already a lot. Did already a lot. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, we are serious about it. We are serious about it, and we looked at it on. Yeah, I mean, might look small thing, but it's not. It's not. So yeah, I mean, that's a real commitment we have, and we will carry on.
Okay, we're very much looking forward to it, to see what will come more.
Yeah.
Yes, so maybe we have talked about the cross-border communities, but is there anything else, like in terms of projects, which is coming? I'm aware of the PwC 30 project. So for global, PwC Global, what we want to achieve.
The net zero, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Is there something like other solutions, options we would like to offer for our clients, but also for our people here in this firm?
I mean, the net zero is going to keep us very busy, that for sure. But I think that's something really important for maybe our new joiners and for everybody in the firm. The big other global project from PwC, from CR perspective, is New World, New Skills.
Okay.
So there's really a will to say, you know, if you look at the big issues in the world, you have climate change and you have growing inequalities. Growing inequalities are increased by the fact that some people have skills and some people don't have the skills. And when you don't have the skills, you don't find a job. You don't find a job, you are left apart, and it's even increasing the inequalities. Mm-hmm. And we see the huge digital transformation of the world. And it's really clear that if you are not fit for the digital world, you will not be well off to find a job.
Yes, you will have less chances compared to the other ones. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we discussed with Leven last time as well.
So it's really, really important that we understand that the world, that we like it or not, is going to be more digital. And that's really key that we bring those skills for people to be equipped. It's true for our communities, and we put a lot of money in communities all over the world. Mm-hmm. And it's true for our people as well. Okay. So I think we have a great responsibility to develop our people to make sure that their skills will match an evolving demand of the digital world. So for me, it's a community agenda, but also it's an internal agenda, and our responsibility to have our people having a nice journey with us, meaning that we give purpose to them, they understand what we do, why we're useful, how they contribute to that, make them good citizens, bringing, doing our part as a corporate, but also developing them in a way that if they decide to go, which is fair enough, I mean, we don't want them to go, but if they go, we need to accept that. They are equipped and can go to the next level, find a good job, and carry on in their development. So I guess that's a very important initiative by the firm that we also transpose locally with some training and development for our people. So I guess this is a very important one. So basically, if we say two big issues globally, climate change and inequalities, we can say that locally, we have globally in the firm and locally in Luxembourg, we look at them and we play our part as well.
Okay. And maybe coming back to your personal life as well, because you mentioned like what we can improve, what can individuals do as well, like for becoming more sustainable, but not feeling immediately, as you mentioned, guilty about it if from time to time we're consuming something which is maybe not that sustainable, but like tiny steps which could help everyone?
I mean, the tiny steps you need to find by yourself, but for me, the consciousness of what is at stake, how you, in your ability to consume or not consume, or do things in a certain way, you have an impact. And then you do your own checklist, the one that you feel, it's not a big change for me. I'm happy to adapt, I guess it needs to be a personal thing, It needs to come from your heart somewhere.
And maybe also we need some inspirational leaders as well.
Yes, I mean, maybe I try to do that today. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm succeeding, but I'm really trying my best. So I guess that's key. I mean, I see it with my kids now where we talk about, last weekend we were looking at Netflix with the My Planet series with David Attenborough. Yes. So I guess this is really inspiring where you get, really the huge
It was
impact.
Heartbreaking. I've seen it as well.
Yeah, it is, but in a way it's good to understand. It's good to, I guess if you see the beauty of the planet, you want to protect it. If you don't see it, you might forget about it. So I guess this consciousness for me is key because people, I don't think they are destructive by nature. They just don't realize.
Yes.
They don't see the big picture. If they see it, there's some humanity in them that will bring them to make good decisions. And that's what is important, that people are equipped to make good decisions. So for me, that's the responsibility we have as leaders, as adults, as parents. And then they make their own decision in a good way. I mean, my kid is now, my son says, Mommy, you forget to switch off the light.
Oh, really?
Sorry. So, and the water, why do you...
Yeah, but I have the feeling the younger generation is even more aware of, we know of all the initiatives.
I think so.
And Greta Thunberg, so I think there is kind of this sensitive approach.
Yes, and education as well, and you cannot watch TV without looking something on climate or responsible. You listen to L'Essentiel, and they do things. Don't waste your clothes. You can rework them and all that. You see it's everywhere. So it's part of the day to day. That's why it's important that we, as a service firm, having so much ability to serve clients. It would be so wrong that we don't play a role there too. Every time I talk to a client about sustainability or I work with the client, of course I make money for the firm, but what I want to do is make impact for the world, make impact for the ecosystem. And some people might think she's crazy. I mean, that's just money. No, it's not just money. I mean, you need to do good and do well. I mean, it goes together. So, and for me, that's where a firm like PwC has a huge role to play. I mean, we are huge. I could say we are a monster, which is not very positive, but we have a huge impact. And I guess people joining us needs to know that, yes, I mean, we have the will to move that internally and also externally.
And can individuals here at PwC also have an impact on this?
I mean, of course.
When they join and they do their job on a daily basis?
Of course, when you start, you just cannot think that you're going to do sustainability first thing, but look at the finance part. The finance is moving to sustainable finance. You know, I mean, the capital market is looking at how they put the money in the good company. How do you define a good company? How companies are going to report on their impact on the ESG, environmental, societal agenda. All that is going to be the day-to-day of people joining us today, even in audit, even doing only investment fund. That's going to be the day-to-day. So it's part of the game. I mean, definitely.
Okay, great. Do you have any recommendations for the future generations, what they could do differently?
It's funny because yesterday I was giving a training to the Neoma students, you know, the Reims school.
Yes.
I had 50 people in front of me, you know, in
Virtually.
Zoom. Just the name and nobody on the screen, so it was a bit frustrating. So, but at the end we had a bit of interaction. I guess they will push us to behave differently, you know?
And this is the good part?
I think that is a good part. Because, you know, I mean, I'm French and there's... you're French as well? No, you're not. Okay, but there's a guy who's very well known in France, who was a comic, Coluche, is very well known. And he said, it would be enough that you don't buy, that if you don't buy, the products will not be sold. Okay?
Yes.
And so you think about the power as consumer.
Yes.
Okay. Think of power as talent. Some young people say, we don't want to work for companies that are killing the planet. So if you do it, fair enough, but we will not work for you. So think about the power as talent, future talent that we want to recruit.
Okay.
So, I mean, you could say we don't care about them. We will find other people to recruit, but we know it's not that easy. So basically, then you could say, oh yeah, I'm going to look good just to make sure that they join us. We didn't take that option. We took the option to do it seriously, to be doing things, to be able to report on what we do, on what we did well, on what we didn't do so well, on being honest. So my recommendation to them is make sure that you go in a firm that aligns with your values, that you believe sincere on this, you know, global agenda, and where you believe that you will have a happy journey. Because for me, that's really important, you know. I mean, there's no way to happiness. Happiness is a way.
That's very nice.
So for me, that's what needs to make sense. Join a firm where we believe that the way you will be with us, it will make sense for you as a person, for you as a professional. And then it's going to align with your value. If you have that, you will be happy in the firm. And that's the most important thing.
And you're happy in this firm?
Yeah, I'm happy in this firm. I've been with the firm for 29 years now. So it's a bit the end of the journey, I must say.
Okay.
Even if I'm still young, I still have a lot of energy. But yeah, it's a long journey. I've been through many things. I must say, apart from my husband, I met my best friend here. There's a lot of people in the firm that I like very much, for which I have a real strong relationship. That's what keeps me in the firm in bad moments. The fact that I like people here, I like the values, I like the way we drive things, the way we, you know, are ambitious and always challenge the status quo. That's what I like with the firm. So yeah, that's made me very happy and until now.
And maybe because we haven't talked about it in the beginning, where you mentioned it now that you're from France. I mean, I knew that, but
with my accent.
That was one argument.
That's not nice.
But the other one, no, we've already worked together, so I knew that you're French. But maybe you can just tell us where you're exactly from. Like, why did you decide to come to Luxembourg? This is always very interesting for us to know.
But I did not really decide. I had the opportunity, so I came. No, I mean, to be honest, and I'm coming from a small city in the northeast of France. My parents had, a decent job. My mom was a nurse. My dad was working in a factory that called Alstom, where all my family was working. Alstom is doing the high-speed train, is doing a nuclear central. Everybody in my family worked there.
Okay.
So nobody went for IB, nobody went for university. At 16, you had...
What is IB?
In a baccalaureate, international baccalaureate, or, the final exam. So nobody really had the opportunity to study. So I was really the first one to say, well, I would like to explore something else.
Yes.
So I went to university. And at university, I had, the opportunity to come for an interview with Cooper Celebrant. I got the job, and I say, at the end of the day, I do study to have a job. So I took the job. And I had no clue about, what audit was and where Luxembourg was. But I knew that, from a family point of view, I couldn't count on them to do, very long studies. So I took it and without expectation of how long it was going to last. It was like, I enjoy every step of my career. At the time, I was recruited. We were 16. The new joiner promotion, it was 16 people.
Wow. Not comparable today.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about it. And yeah, it'd been like it was yesterday, so it's just very lucky to have this opportunity, very lucky to evolve the way I evolved, very lucky to have met so many great people. On the top of it, my husband, and I'm an happy person in many respects. I've got 3 wonderful kids that I'm so proud of, and what I do in my personal life with the school in Cambodia, with my role in PwC, and when at the end of the day, the love you give, the one you receive. What else?
Yes. That's true. And how can people from the outside support this project in Cambodia as well? You were doing there?
Say it again. What was the question?
The project.
Yes.
The girls' education project in Cambodia. Can people from the outside also support you?
Of course.
There,
we need to have people supporting. So, by the way, PwC is supporting a class of girls.
What are we offering?
11 years now.
Wow.
10 years now. 10 years. It's 11 years now. It's just amazing. We have also individual people being mentor of one girl.
Okay.
So that's, a kind of one-to-one relationship. So yeah, we need corporate support. We need individual support. It's really a PwC story, this non-for-profit, because I started years ago, and now in my board, my greatest support is Pascal Rakowski, who is, our ex-assurance leader for the firm, ex-deputy TSP. So, it's like Pascal and I, we have a life after PwC with a non-for-profit, but our connection was PwC connection. So it's funny that we could carry on. And I've got many friends around me, female friends, Pascal being the only man in the group so far, but we are opened, and we do a great job. And apart from the corporate and personal support, we also had the support from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Luxembourg that is doing a co-financing of projects. We have just got a co-financing of a new building to have girls staying at school, staying in the school in the evening. So internat, I don't know how you say that in a dormitory, where the girls can sleep overnight for the girls that not a real stable family. So it's a way to protect them.
Okay.
So we have more than 150 girls in the dormitory that we take care. They can have dinner there, a proper life. So yeah, it's a huge project, and it's a good story. Also because it's a friendship that we have here within my group of people supporting, and with all the corporate that support and individuals that support us. So it's a great story. Yeah.
Great. Then we hope all the best is going to happen in the future. Even more people are going to join you.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Kim, after the discussion, you can
exactly
give you some information.
Yes.
No,
and
but that's a nice thing to do. That's a nice thing to do. Yeah.
The last question of today, maybe for your personal life, for yourself, do you have any new programs, plans, projects for yourself you want to implement with your family or just for yourself?
So,
in terms of, again, sustainability, corporate responsibility.
I mean, we carry on our journey on, getting rid of plastic. That's clear. I guess we are looking as well. I give you a concrete example because my husband has 2 grown-up girls, and I'm going to be a grandmother in February. So the oldest daughter is going to have a baby, and for the baby, we did everything by ourselves. So my little one and me, we are sewing.
For example,
every Saturday we did the little bag. How you call that?
Yes.
I don't know in English. The thing that was a sleeping bag for the baby.
Yes.
We did all the things. For the
eat when they eat.
When they eat.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are looking to do a small map for the baby to play around, so that we can do with some tissues that make noise and all that. So that's the kind of stuff to do. So it sounds going to be ridiculous if people listen to that.
But it seems to me like I would never be able to do that. So
but I'm taking lessons because I'm not so gifted. So I've got a teacher, that we see every Saturday, and I do that with my younger girl. And we do that together, so it's nice. And we build that for the baby of my daughter-in-law. So, and we expect the baby. So I guess we have a new adventure now with a new baby.
Yes.
And my daughter-in-law is very much about looking at, how she could minimize the impact on the planet with the baby. So it's like about the diapers that you cannot throw away. So we have a lot of discussion like that. So. It doesn't look so sexy, but very useful, by the way, to think about.
It is.
So I'm trying to be a sustainable grandmother. That's my target.
That's your goal, so to say.
That's my goal for 2021.
Great. Then thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. And maybe to end on something less funny, I guess, it's a question of legacy for everybody, what we will be leaving on this planet to the firm and all that. And I guess I saw a cartoon somewhere where you had a grandfather with the grandkids around, and there was nothing left. And he said, yep, we destroyed the planet, but for a great moment in time, we made a lot of money for shareholder.
Yes, very strong.
So you can imagine the picture. Yes. I will not comment on it. That will be my last last sentence of the day.
Then thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode. If you don't want to miss out on our upcoming stories, hit subscribe, feel free to share, and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and see you for the next episode of PwC's Casual Side.